Hari Om. Well, what can I say? How did I transform myself? Well, it's a bit of a long story. That is, what can I say? Shiva who brought me to this point. But if I go into that, it's a very long explanation. But I can tell you a little bit about myself. That before, I'm not really following any religion at all. My parents are mixed between Malaysian and UK British. So I can know about both cultures, but not following Islam and not following Christianity too. Islam a little bit before. I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran, I've read Bhagavad Gita, I've read many of the holy books at that point. Bhagavad Gita, at that point, I didn't go too much into it, but I have read the Bible and parts of the Quran and tried to believe and try to follow the set of rules that's in all these religions. And in the end, I gave up with the religion and I didn't follow anything at all. So at that point, I already came to Australia. So, what are the things we follow? In Australia, we want a big house, a nice job, a good car, kids, marriage life, those things that we follow. And then if we buy the car after some years, we say, oh, that car is no good. I want a bigger one, will make me happier. So buy that one, you get more credit, you get more stress. And then this is the lifestyle that I found in the Western world, like what we've got, we're never really happy with it. We're always looking for something. We're always asking a question. But whether we want the answer to that question is another question in itself. Sometimes we ask, oh, we want to know the answer to this. But really, deep down, we may not want to know the answer, because if the answer came back at us, maybe we wouldn't like that answer. So we think we search, and there's a lot of unhappiness if we don't have the divine presence in our life, no matter what we got, even if we became a doctor or a lawyer or whatever we become, or we push our children to become. But at the end of the day, everybody is looking for the happiness. And if we're not happy, usually we are not in balance. So if we don't have a balance in our life, something is missing. There are 3 relationships that if they are not in balance, we are not happy. The first one, relationship with the divine, with the God. The second, for me, relationship with people, because we're still living in this world and we still have to go through the dharma, artha, kama. So we have to have relationship with the people. And then thirdly, the relationship with the environment. Those 3 things, if they are not in balance, we're not in balance. We can't find the answer. So if we look at the first one and we say, okay, relationship with the God, with the divine. Some people, they get put off because, the Bible has too many rules, the Quran has too many rules, the Hindus have got hundreds of millions of rules. Which one do we follow? So many gods, so many questions like that. Actually, the question is only when I say the divine, I mean the higher power, our own consciousness. Our own consciousness is divine. That Krishna consciousness, or that Shiva Tattva that manifests in us, this is the divine that I talk about. Not really religion. Of course, religion is there. I myself, I do the sadhanas, I do the meditation, yoga, Vedic study. I'm a priestess in Balinese tradition, so I do all of that. But maybe everyone is not in their interest to do all of that, but at least you have to know the divine energy that is within you, that prakriti that makes you wake up in the morning and get through your day, that paramatma that stay within us that we can't see, or it's very hard to know, but it is there. This is the thing that I'm talking about, not necessarily the ritual or okay, I'm not going to eat meat on Monday, but I'm going to eat meat on Tuesday and all these things. I'm not talking about that. That is a culture. What I'm talking about, the connection that you have with the God. Doesn't matter which religion you follow, actually, because all the All the river leads to the ocean, and all the prayer, all the earnest, sincere prayer, it reaches to God. I mean, in my case, I follow the Sanatana Dharma, which is the eternal truth. Eternal, seek for the eternal truth. That eternal truth, that is Shiva. It may not be the Shiva that you see with the snake around his neck, although I have many of these images. You can't see it, but I have many of these images. But really that Shiva is that our own, it is Paramatma that is within us, that Shiva Tattva, that pure nature, that divine nature, that one. You have to have a relationship with that. A relationship with the divine. That one, first of all. And then secondly, in my case, I think we have to have relationship with others, because we have to work with others on the worldly level. We have to go to work. We have to mix with people at home. We have to have a relationship with our family. And sometimes we have the question that, oh, my husband doesn't understand me, or my wife doesn't understand me. This thing breaks up a lot of marriage. But at the end of the day, it's a bit unfair to expect someone else to understand you when you don't even understand yourself, you see? So for this sense, I mean, the relationship with other people, we don't need to expect them to understand us if we can't understand ourselves, and we have to, live and let live as well. People don't tend to do that. They overlook a lot of things, a lot of people's faults, a lot of faults that people pick around and things. So I think that, relationship with the others around you, you have to forgive, and forgive yourself and forgive others, and they can be at peace with the people. And then I think that the third relationship, I talk about the relationship with the environment, with nature, of course, like with the animals, plants, trees, mountain, ocean, all those things. That goes without saying. Yeah, but with the 5 elements, the like, if you know the 5 elements that's around us in the nature is within us too. For example, for me, I like to go to the beach or the mountain, especially I like to go to the beach. No, I'm not talking about like you go there for swimming or sunbathing or something. No, if you just go and sit only, all the 5 elements are there. You have the Prithvi in your body, in your cells, and you're sitting on the land, which is also Prithvi. So you have this element. After, you have the sun. The sun is part of fire, Agni. Agni you have in your body, you have in your digestion. Because if we don't have heat, we can't digest any food, we will be dead. So we have fire, which is the sun. After, we have Vayu, which is the air we breathe. Day to day, you will be dead if you don't breathe. After, what? Varuna, or the water, the Jal we have in our blood that flows in our body. It's there too. And then Akash, the sky, that is the Atma. So all the elements are there. So you have to have relationship with all these elements. All these 5 is within us, and it's within the nature. That's why I say that 3 relationship. If it's all in balance, we are in balance, then we feel that we can gain some knowledge. If one thing is out of balance, we have to work a bit to correct it. That's my experience anyway. I think like this. And what else I can say? It's hard in the Western world because we have job, 9 to 5 job. We have to get up and go to the workplace, and we have a lot of these mortgages and bills or rents to pay and all these things. And you say, oh, I don't have time. I don't have the discipline, or I don't have the time to wake up early, take a bath and sit and do my sadhana, my meditation or yoga or anything at all. Even doesn't matter, even if you do pranayama, Surya Savana or Surya Namaskar, something, if you don't chant the mantras, it doesn't matter, but at least some spiritual practice to connect yourself. It can take only 20 minutes in the morning before you get up 20 minutes early and do it. I think if we have the discipline to get up, to commute ourselves into the city, to sit for 8 hours doing the job that we don't even like, and then come back home, and then we have to cook, and then we have to do other chores, and when we tired, we go to bed, and tomorrow we get up, we do the same thing again like this. So if like that, you have discipline. Why? Because you like what you get after that. You get a paycheck. So you like that paycheck, that's why you do it. But if the spiritual sadhana, same thing. If you get up, you put yourself discipline, you like what you get after. Because then you'll be closer to yourself, closer to God. You'll have the calmness, you have to look at it like that. That's the way I look at it. Like the worldly knowledge is here, but the divine knowledge is here. So it's up to us what we value. We have to do both. If we have the discipline to go out and make the money, we have the discipline to put a little bit of effort and do some spiritual sadhana. I find that after that helped me so much. It become like a transformation. Like people looking for happiness, they've spent a lot of money looking for it. But the happiness come from the divine is actually free. That's the best part about it. With you do the sadhana, prayer, puja, if you know how to do it, you can do it. Otherwise, at least some little bit meditation and yoga. And yeah, that's also very thing that at the end of the day, whatever we do, I say that a lot of stress on finding happiness. But at the end of the day, what you really want to find is the truth. Because happiness and sadness are the two sides of the same coin. Both is impermanent, both comes and goes, both subject to change. It's really irrelevant. At the end of the day, the only thing's important, acceptance. If you accept what you're in, then you can change. Another thing, we worry a lot about two things, the past and the future. Neither of them exist at all, only now. Because yesterday, it doesn't exist, it's gone and finished. Tomorrow, we don't know if it come or not, or what will happen or what will not happen. Will I have money for when I retire, or what will happen to my kids when they finish study, or all these things. It didn't come yet, it doesn't exist, why worry about it? Yesterday, or somebody did something bad to me or whatever, doesn't matter, it doesn't exist anymore, only now. So every thought, every microsecond, every thought that create the karma. As you think, you become. So if you think a certain way, you become that way. Your thoughts eventually ends up becoming your character. Your character becomes your destiny. So as you think, you become. So if you know that, then I think you don't need to all the messages in the spiritual books, but boil down to that. At the end of the day, as you think, you become. And just only acceptance, that's the key. Whatever your problem you're in, you're not going to be in that problem forever. Like, for example, the seasons, it would change. If Australia, sometimes we got 4 seasons in one day, isn't it? You see the weather, you see everything. Sometimes you put jacket on, you get hot, you freeze. That's the same. If you watch your emotion, it's the same thing. In the morning, you have a fight with somebody. In the evening, you want to hug that person. So what's the point of the worry? Because it's just like this. It's just up and down. It's all the dance of Shiva. That's all it is. It's the dance of Shiva. There's no difference between the dancer and the dance, isn't it? It all goes on. If Shiva is the dancer, then Prakriti is the dance, and that is us. We are just going around and around. So therefore, better just accept and, yeah. I don't know, that's, maybe I'm not a very good speaker to say what I mean to say, but hopefully you understand.
Exactly.
That's my experience.